What's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome to the Season 10 mid-season finale of Who'd Win and Why. And this time we've got Venom, played by Topher Grace in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, going up against Venom, played by Tom Hardy in Ruben Fleischer's Venom. While their respective movies definitely weren't the best received by everyone, both of these Venoms are pretty dangerous and unpredictable to say the least. And today it's time for me to decide who I think would win in a one-on-one battle to the end. So, who would win and why? Let's find out. Alright, so first we're going to talk about Topher Grace's Venom. In Spider-Man 3, Eddie Brock was a new photographer at the Daily Bugle, competing with Peter Parker for a staff job until Peter, while influenced by an alien symbiote, called him out for creating false evidence and ruined his career. However, Peter quickly abandoned the symbiote after realizing the true evil that existed within it, only for it to make its way to Eddie. Eddie bonded with the symbiote and, with a combined hatred of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, became arguably his most dangerous foe to date and one of the most disappointing aspects of the entire trilogy. While Venom may not have gotten too much screen time in the film, there's still a lot that we know about his powers and abilities. Just like in the comics, this version of Venom is superior to Spider-Man in every physical category, thanks to the symbiote's previous bond with Peter. Venom has impressive feats of his own, such as kicking the whole roof off of a taxi, but scaling to Spider-Man, he should be able to stop a full speeding train and survive forces powerful enough to send him flying through a brick wall, and likely even more force than that. His durability allows him to take powerful hits from Spider-Man, Harry Osborn, and even Sandman, and he doesn't seem to tire at any point while fighting, no matter how much punishment he's taken. The symbiote can also reform if part of it is cut or slashed open, making Venom a truly difficult opponent to kill. Grace's speed is also something not to be glossed over either. Again, Grace can keep up with Spider-Man in every physical category, and Spider-Man was able to dodge fast-moving pumpkin blades thrown by the Green Goblin, and he's agile enough to fight Spider-Man while they're falling from many stories up and can easily weave through the air. However, while Grace may be fast, this version of Venom doesn't seem to possess the oh-so-famous spider sense despite the previous bond with Peter. There are many instances where Venom has been caught off guard in the movie, and no instance that proves that he has any sort of special awareness sense. Even so, his speed and agility is still very impressive enough to give Peter a run for his money. While he may not have acquired the spider sense, Grace was still able to copy most of Spider-Man's signature abilities. Along with gaining insane strength, speed, and durability, he's also able to climb on virtually any surface and can produce a seemingly unlimited supply of black webbing, which he can use for web slinging through the air or as attacks and traps. Not even Spider-Man can easily break through Venom's webs, making them an extremely useful tool for battle. Grace has also shown that he can make constructs out of his suit, like how he made a small shield to block Spider-Man's own webbing attacks, but his morphing abilities don't seem to extend too far beyond that. Despite Venom's superb raw power and amazing durability, it's also made clear that the symbiote is very vulnerable to sound and fire, and sound was repeatedly used to disrupt the symbiote's bond with its host, and fire was ultimately what killed it at the end of the movie. Also, Venom is clearly not the smartest of Spidey's villains in this universe, and he doesn't go too far beyond an insane killing machine, especially when he's angered in battle. With all that being said though, Venom from Spider-Man 3 is a true monster and one of the toughest villains in the whole series. He may not have gotten too much screen time, but his presence was undoubtedly made regardless, and he's more than ready to take on any opponent. Alright, so now it's time to move over to Tom Hardy's Venom. In the movie Venom, Eddie Brock was a reporter with a respected career and a loving fiancé, but when he tried to uncover the truth about businessman Carlton Drake's deadly experiments by interviewing him, his unsourced accusations led to his firing and his fiancé leaving him. For months, Eddie had nothing thanks to his ruined reputation, but his encounter with an employee of Drake's allowed him to sneak into the Life Foundation to find answers with evidence, which is where he found the Venom symbiote. The alien bonded with Eddie, and the two achieved true symbiosis and compatibility, and they became the protagonists in what was probably the most divisive superhero movie of 2018. Eddie and the symbiote definitely didn't start out as great friends, but despite their rocky beginning, they are undeniably a powerful and deadly duo. Hardy is strong enough to toss people around like ragdolls and bite their heads clean off, break a relatively thick log in the forest in half by simply running through it, and he's capable of standing up to Riot, who can take out a room full of people in a single strike with no effort. He's shown that he can take heavy hits from Riot and is virtually unaffected by most assaults that aren't comparable to his level of power. On top of all of that, the bond with Venom gave Eddie a healing factor which is able to fully and speedily heal many broken bones all at once, even if someone could get past his durability. Hardy's incredible strength and durability comes as no surprise given his hulking nature, but his speed is also pretty damn remarkable. Not only is he capable of moving and attacking very fast while fighting Riot and trained guards, he can also leap considerably far distances from enemy to enemy while in the middle of battle and either climb or leap to the top of a tree in an instant, making his speed and agility not to be underestimated. In addition, while Hardy definitely doesn't possess the spider sense per se, he was able to detect that enemies were going to knock on the door to the room he was in right before they knocked, meaning that this version of Venom does indeed possess a hyper-awareness sense of sorts. This would allow him to react to incoming danger extremely quickly, and in turn would make him much harder for any normal opponent to hit. Unfortunately, because this version of Venom is in no way connected to Spider-Man, Hardy doesn't possess direct parallels to Peter Parker's powers. Despite this, Venom is no slouch when it comes to versatility. He's able to scale massive structures with little to no difficulty, but more impressively, he's able to use the symbiote to create a number of different things, supposedly only limited by Venom's imagination. He's made a giant shield to protect from incoming bullet fire, giant tentacles or tendrils which have been used in a multitude of scenarios, and Riot was even shown to be able to make giant weapons like a spiky ball and hand blades, implying Venom and other symbiotes could do the same. His shape-shifting abilities certainly make him just as unpredictable as he is dangerous. Eddie and the symbiote may be powerful and versatile, but they're not unstoppable. Venom does have clear limits in his own strength and speed, as shown when Riot is able to overpower him for a good portion of the final battle in the movie. Additionally, fire and sound are capable of doing real damage to him according to the symbiote itself, and enough exposure to either or both of the stimuli can create devastating results. Despite his few flaws, however, Venom from the 2018 Venom film is an extremely well-rounded anti-hero that will achieve its goal under any circumstances. Eddie and Venom may not always get along, but when they do work together, they can show anyone the true meaning and the true danger of symbiosis. Alright, so now that I've gone over both of these characters, it's finally time for me to decide who I think would win this battle. And this fight is a little hard to judge simply because while it's the same character being adapted, these are two very different Venoms that live in very different worlds. They haven't displayed all the same things that the other has, and they've been subject to different experiences and harmful assaults. However, after looking through everything that they have displayed, I do personally think that Tom Hardy's Venom would be the winner of this fight. And if you think that Topher Grace's Venom would win, that's great, that's totally fine, tell me why down in the comments below, but first here's my reasoning for why I feel Hardy would win more often than not. Strength is a category that's a little weird for these two characters. Scaling Grace to Spider-Man, Grace should be capable of lifting well over 200 tons, as Spider-Man was able to stop a speeding train that weighed over 200 tons in total. This is far more weight than Hardy is shown to be able to lift or could even scale to. However, while Grace may be able to lift more weight, Hardy seems to have the power advantage regarding his strikes. Neither Spider-Man nor Venom in the original trilogy have shown really any insane physical displays of power, especially when compared to Hardy, who can crush a car by simply jumping on it, crack a brick wall by jumping off of it, and break a log in half while simply running through it and not even in his full Venom form. The Venom in the 2018 film is clearly portrayed as having remarkable force behind everything he does, even if it's just jumping or running, whereas Spider-Man and Grace in the 2002 to 2007 movies don't show anything over the top like that with their strikes or movements. However, even if we could prove that Grace has a superior striking power, there's really not too much more he has going for him. When it comes to speed, it's very clear that Hardy has the advantage when looking at how quickly they fight and move in general, along with Hardy's insane leaping and climbing speed. Plus, while both of them have been caught off guard, Hardy possesses his own hyper-awareness sense which would definitely improve his reaction time. Versatility is another category where Hardy takes the cake. While both Grace and Hardy are strong and tough and can scale walls, the only thing Grace has that Hardy doesn't is the ability to spin webs, whereas the symbiotes in the Venomverse can create tendrils, a huge shield, enormous weapons, and in general just seem more creative with their abilities. This isn't even counting his impressive healing factor, which we'll get into in a bit. What's arguably the most important advantage here is durability, which Hardy easily takes as well. Both can take heavy hits from strong characters, but Hardy seems to be significantly more resistant to their signature weaknesses. On one hand, the 2007 symbiote started to weaken after being in close proximity to only a few intense sounds, and was destroyed by a single goblin grenade. On the other hand, the 2018 symbiote was able to take multiple hits from sound grenades and just shrug them off, and he was able to somehow survive the afterburners of an enormous rocket ship. Now, it's hard to say whether or not either character can actually die while bonded to Eddie aside from the use of these weaknesses, like how it is in the comics, but this still proves that Eddie and Venom's bond in Venom is significantly stronger and better at sustaining itself than in Spider-Man 3, and that the symbiote is just more durable, which would make them harder to kill regardless. Plus, Hardy received a visible and quite fast-paced healing factor, which is far more than what's shown for Grace, giving him even more survivability and stamina overall. The last advantage that Hardy has over Grace is intelligence, though admittedly not by a huge margin. While Grace has shown some signs of thinking on the battlefield, he's mostly just an insane monster that punches first and asks questions later, with maybe a monologue or two in between. However, the Venom symbiote in the 2018 film not only possessed considerably more intelligence and strategic ability as a whole, but the bond between Eddie and Venom in that movie felt far more like a partnership, giving them the opportunity to punch and think their way through a fight if necessary. Even if smarts is not really their thing, they still come off as far more intelligent than Grace's character. Overall, both of these characters have insane physical capabilities and survivability, but Tom Hardy has Topher Grace almost completely outclassed, to put it bluntly. Grace may be able to lift more weight when scaled to Spider-Man, but Tom Hardy proves to be a more physical threat in general and a more resourceful combatant as well. While Grace would certainly put up a fight, I feel that Hardy's superior power, speed, durability, stamina, versatility, and intellect would put him on top in the long run. So, in my opinion, the winner is Tom Hardy's Venom. So guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, then please give this video a huge like. I always appreciate the likes. Leave your comments down in the comments below. If you want to say who you think should have won, or if you have any future ideas for who, when, and why, please let me know down in the comments below, because I really want to hear what you guys have to say. And if you guys could subscribe to my channel, that'd be so great. That would really help my channel out. But honestly, no matter what you do, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And next time on Who, When, and Why, we've got Lex Luthor going up against Dr. Doom. See you all then.